Very good morning, all of you. Welcome to Fluid Mechanics and Hydraulics Machinery class. In last class, I was discussed about introduction to fluid mechanics, in which what is fluid mechanics, what are fluids, a difference between fluids, what are the applications of fluids were discussed in last class. In today class, I discuss about classification of fluid flows um, and properties of the fluids. Mm. First of all, there are various fluid flows are available in fluid mechanics. I'll discuss number of fluid flows um, in proper bullets. First of all, first type of fluid flow is that viscous and inviscid flows. Viscous flow and inviscid flow. Let assume a pipe or channel through which fluid is flowing. Mm. We know that when fluid is flowing, there are number of layers will be placing in a fluid flow. Uh, Between two layers, automatically there will be a frictional force develops. Due to that frictional flow, the moment of the layer will try to get slowed down. So the frictional force which is appeared between two layers is called as a property called viscosity. So viscosity is nothing but internal fluid friction which is developed between layers. So due to that, the resistance to the flow will take place. So the flow which is based on viscosity is called as viscous flow. Inviscid flow means if you are going to be neglected the viscosity between two layers, or if you are going to be neglected the frictional effects between layers, that flow is called as inviscid flow. Okay, let assume this one using a diagram. See, all of you have taken a channel in which fluid is flowing. So if you see um, surface, surface is going to be contacted with a fluid. So here, due to this surface contact, frictional effects develop. Due to that friction, the velocity of the fluid gets go down. So if there is a resistance to the flow which will be taken place, so this is called as viscous flow. So that region what I have mentioned here is a possibility of viscous flow. If you see in the middle, number of layers will be developed. So if flow is in smooth way, there is a less chance of getting viscous effects. So you may be considered as inviscid flow. But in nature, there is no chance to get inviscid flow. In every fluid flow, you will be getting frictional effects. So every flow would be viscous flow. But the effect, the frictional effect will be sometimes bigger, sometimes smaller, based on the velocity or based on the fluid flow. But there is no, it is impossible to get a flow without viscous effects, without viscosity. Always you will be having viscosity between layers. But if you are going to be neglected that viscosity, that flow would be considered as inviscid flow. This is only theoretical. Practically you cannot see inviscid flow, but you may assume, depends on situation. If your viscosity value is lesser, you may assume this is inviscid flow like that. But always viscosity presence should be there. Sometimes that would be bigger, sometimes smaller. Hmm? Next fluid flow is internal versus external fluid flow. Internal flow, external flow, that name tells you internal. When fluid flows through a system, the fluid is called as internal flow. When fluid is going over the system, is called as external flow. For example, take a pipe through which water is flowing. Over the pipe we have atmospheric air. See, if you are going to study the water behavior inside the pipe, that flow is called as internal flow, which is going inside the pipe or tube. If I want to study the air behavior which is placed over the tube, so it is called as external flow. Air is flowing over the tube, over the surface, called as external flow. Next one is compressible flow and incompressible flow. In last class I was discussed about incompressible flow, which was based on Mach number. So when Mach number value crosses 0.3, that flow would be considered as compressible flow. When Mach number value is less than 0.3, that flow is considered as incompressible flow. So already I told you what is Mach number. Mach number is a ratio of object velocity or substance velocity to the sound velocity at required temperature. So that is a ratio. Hmm? And one more flow is laminar and turbulent flow. Laminar flow, turbulent flow. See, same example what I took for first case, again I am taking. Take a channel, fluid is moving with slow velocity. Let us assume fluid is having slow velocity. When fluid is moving with slow velocity, we will be having number of layers in the fluid which will be moving in a smooth way without disturbance, without changing order. Those layers are moving in a smooth way. This type of flow is called as laminar flow. A laminar flow is a flow in which flow moves without disturbance and in a smooth way with a slow velocity, called as laminar flow. But when you increase the velocity in a channel or pipe, definitely you will be getting some disturbances in the flow. Due to the disturbances, molecules will go in different directions. Fluid molecules, particles will go in different directions. So some disturbance will be created. Such a flow is called as turbulent flow. Turbulent flow means a flow which has disturbance. Same thing I was mentioned in a diagram. See, all of you, laminar flow, number of layers of fluid go in smooth way, one by one, layer by layer, they move, they flow. But turbulent flow means you will be having a disturbance in the fluid flow. So this is the diagram for turbulent flow. And next one is natural versus forced flow. Name tells you natural. Natural flow means due to atmospheric or due to normal pressure differences, fluid moves from one place to another place. For example, take room air. Air moves into the room from surroundings to surroundings and enters into the room. Due to normal pressure differences, fluid flow moves from one place to another place. This is natural circulation. So this type of flow is called as a natural flow or normal flow. But if you are going to supply air into the room forcibly by using one fan or one mechanical element, if you are supplying fluid forcibly into the system, that is called as forced flow. So same thing I have explained with a diagram here. See, all of you, in first diagram I have taken a channel. Fluid is moving with natural circulation due to natural pressure differences from one place to another place. But in second diagram I took a mechanical element. You may be taken as pump or compressor or blower or fan, whatever it may be. So by using one mechanical element, forcibly I have supplied a fluid from one place to another place. Okay, this is called as forced flow. Hmm? This is difference between these two. And next one is steady and unsteady flow. Steady, any characteristic is not changing. If you are taking a characteristic, a property, if that characteristic is not changing at a point with respect to time, that flow is called as steady. So if you take any property, that property should not be changed at a point with respect to time. So such a flow is called as steady flow. If property is changing with respect to time, called as unsteady flow. So these are different flows are available regarding fluid. Next topic is properties of fluid. Before entering into properties of fluid, first of all we should know that what is property. Property means any physical characteristic of the system or substance, called as property. Any physical characteristic. uh, Next, mainly these in thermodynamics we learnt already this topic. We discussed clearly. There are two types of properties. One is intensive property and second one is extensive property. Intensive, extensive. So easily you can differentiate these two. Intensive property is a property which is based on or which is independent on mass. Which is independent on mass is called as intensive. If you take a property which is dependent on mass is called as extensive property. Dependent on mass, independent on mass, these two things you should remember. Independent on mass is called as intensive property. Dependent on mass is called as extensive property. These two properties can be differentiated using one simple diagram. See all of you, I have taken a chamber. I took a chamber, a room, uh, this one. See, I took a chamber in which I have some amount of gas. That gas has mass m, volume v, temperature T, pressure P, density rho. So these are different characteristics or properties what that air has in the chamber. Mass m, volume v, sorry, temperature T, pressure P, density rho. These are different characteristics. Now that chamber is going to be divided into two exact parts. I am going to be divided into two exact parts by using a partition. See all of you, I have mentioned in a dotted way a partition. So I am dividing into two chambers with a partition. Now what happens? If I divide into two parts, some characteristics change, some characteristics do not change. What are they? See all of you, mass value becomes in two parts, half m, half m. Volume has become half m, half v, half v. But pressure did not change, temperature did not change, density did not change. So using this diagram, I can say that mass and volume are based on mass of the gas. Based on the mass, you are having different values after partition. But temperature, pressure, density did not change, even partition has taken place. So temperature, pressure, density are not dependent on mass. These properties are called intensive properties. If you go volume, weight, mass, these are based on mass, extensive properties. Like that, I can differentiate intensive and extensive properties. There are so many properties of fluids. Some properties are familiar, some are less familiar. Less familiar properties are viscosity, thermal conductivity, modulus of elasticity, electric resistance. These are less familiar. More familiar properties are temperature, pressure, volume, mass, density, specific volume. These are more familiar properties. So I'll discuss some of the properties of fluids now. First property is density or mass density. Density or mass density. Name tells you, already you know this. Density, it is mass of the fluid per unit volume. See all of you, I have given a bullet here to explain density or to know the definition of density. Density or mass density of a fluid is defined as the ratio of mass of the fluid to its volume. Mass of the fluid which is placed in unit volume. In another way, mass per unit volume. To say in simple manner, mass per unit volume of the fluid is called as density. Mass by volume, simple. Mass of the fluid divided by density of the, sorry, volume of the fluid, called density. What is the unit here? Mass, kgs, volume, meter cube. So mass per volume, unit volume, kg per meter cube, is a unit of density, and which is denoted by symbol rho. I mentioned here, rho is a symbol of density in fluid mechanics. Generally density for fluids case, in case of liquids we may consider constant. In case of gases, this value varies based on temperature. When temperature increases, density decreases. Mathematically, it can be written as I mentioned here, rho is equal to mass of fluid divided by volume of the fluid. The standard reference fluid, generally we consider as water standard reference fluid. The standard reference fluid density is 1000 kg per meter cube. Very important. Nobody tells you in the examination, you should remember this one. Density of the water, generally this value we take at 4 degrees Celsius. Density of water is 1000 kg per meter cube. Water is a standard reference fluid or substance. Nobody will tell you. Water is a standard reference fluid. That value is 1000 kg per meter cube. Second property is specific weight or weight density. Specific weight or weight density. a small change compared to density. Here, um, weight of the fluid per unit volume of the fluid. We take a ratio, which is a ratio of weight of the fluid to the volume of the fluid, is called as specific weight or weight density. Unit is Newton per meter cube. Don't say kg. This is weight. Weight in newtons. Newton per meter cube is a unit of weight density. It is denoted by symbol small w. Don't consider capital W. Capital W is weight. Small w specific weight. Small letter. Specific weight small w can be written here. Weight of the fluid divided by volume of the fluid. Weight means it is a product of mass and acceleration. Sorry, gravitational constant. So mass and acceleration due to gravitational constant divided by volume of the fluid. Gravitational constant g, mass of the fluid into g by volume of the fluid. Mass by volume, just now I told you, called as density, rho. So W is equal to rho g, is a product of density and gravitational constant. Small w is equal to rho into g, remember. Units Newton per meter cube. Equation should be remembered. W is equal to rho into g. Next property is specific volume. Specific volume. It is the ratio of volume of the fluid per unit mass of fluid. Reverse to the density. Volume of the fluid to the mass of the fluid is called as specific volume, which is denoted by symbol small v, not capital V. Capital V total volume, small v specific volume of the fluid. So volume of the fluid divided by mass of the fluid. I can also be written as 1 by mass of the fluid by volume. Mass by volume called density. So small v is equal to 1 by rho. Units meter cube per kg. Next property is specific gravity or relative density. Specific gravity or relative density. It is the ratio of, listen all of you, specific gravity is the ratio of density of substance to the density of standard reference fluid or substance. It is a ratio of density of substance to the density of standard reference substance. Already I told you, standard reference fluid means we take as water. So from which I can be written as specific gravity is equal to density of substance, rho substance, divided by density of standard reference fluid called water, rho water. From which I can calculate specific gravity. Sometimes in some situations you will be having like that, specific gravity of substance will be given. How can we determine density of required substance? So from the above equation I can calculate. For example, I give you one example. Mercury specific gravity is 13.6. I want to calculate density of mercury. How? So using the above equation I can calculate specific gravity of mercury 13.6. I need to calculate density of mercury, rho density, divided by rho water. Already we know that value as 1000. So rho mercury, density of mercury equals to 13.6 times of density of water. 13.6 into 1000, 13,600 is the density of mercury. Like that, if you know specific gravity of any substance, I can calculate the density of particular substance with the help of density of water. Same thing I explained in this point. If the specific gravity of fluid is known, then the density of fluid will be equal to the specific gravity of fluid multiplied by the density of water. Same I explained. So with an example, I wrote a point here. 13.6 is the specific gravity mercury. 13.6 into 1000 gives density of mercury. So using a number of specific gravities, what I mentioned in the table, you can calculate densities. For example, go for blood. Blood specific gravity 1.05. If you multiply with water density, blood density comes 1.05 into 1000. 1005 kg per meter cube. Go for gasoline. Gasoline specific gravity 0.7. If you multiply with water density 0.7 into 1000, you will be getting gasoline density 700 kg per meter cube. Like that, you can calculate any fluid density with the help of specific gravity. Now I discuss two problems, then I close the class using these properties. I discuss two problems. First problem, example 1, I mentioned here. Calculate specific weight, density, specific gravity of 1 liter of liquid. Liquid name has not mentioned. They have taken a liquid having 1 liter which weighs 7 newtons, which weighs. So three objectives you need to calculate. First one is specific weight, second one density, and third one specific gravity. Only two parameters were given, two data. What was that? One is volume 1 liter, second one is weight 7 newtons. So using these two values you need to calculate three parameters, three objectives. So solution, given data, volume 1 liter, weight 7 newtons. 1 liter means 10 power minus 3 meter cube. Already you know this, 1 by 1000 meter cube. Now first objective is specific weight. I already told you in properties in previous slides. Specific weight W is equal to, it is the ratio of weight of the fluid to the volume of the fluid. Weight of the fluid 7 newtons was given. Volume of the fluid 1 liter was mentioned. So using this I calculate specific weight as 7 into 1000. Finally you get into 1000. 7000 Newton per meter cube is a specific weight of liquid what we have in the problem. Second objective is density. So how can we determine density? Just now I told you, if you have specific weight, there is a relation between specific weight and density. Just now I calculated specific weight in previous step. So with the help of specific weight I can determine density. We know that relation is small w is equal to rho g. So from which rho is equal to W by G, where G means gravitational constant. So W just now we calculated at 7000 Newton per meter cube. G means gravitational constant, which is 9.81. So finally the total value is 713.5 kg per meter cube density units. Units are must. Everybody should write units in the examination, otherwise examiner will not impress on you. So units give some special category. If you know units, you will be having some knowledge on the subject. That is the meaning. Next one is specific gravity. Specific gravity, I already told you, it is a ratio of density of substance divided by density of standard reference substance. Density of substance, just now we calculated 713.5 for particular liquid what we have in the problem. Standard reference liquid means water. That water density is 1000. So 713.5 by 1000, finally that value is 0.7135 is specific gravity of required fluid. So this is problem 1. I hope that everyone should understood well. Understood well. So very easy problem using 3 simple steps with the given data. Next problem is calculate. I close this class with this problem. Calculate the density, specific weight and weight of 1 liter petrol. Here fluid name has mentioned petrol. Three things again you need to calculate: density, specific weight and weight of 1 liter. Weight, density rho you need to calculate, specific weight W, small w, weight capital W. Three things for petrol, having 1 liter volume, specific gravity 0.7. Two parameters again they given in the problem, volume and specific gravity. In previous problem, volume and weight, that is the difference. So given data, volume 1 liter 10 power minus 3 meter cube, specific gravity S is equal to 0.7. So first objective, density. How to determine density? Already we know, if I have specific gravity I can calculate density. So density of particular substance is equal to specific gravity, which is multiplied standard reference fluid density. So S into 1000 means water fluid density, a standard density of the fluid. So specific gravity is 0.7 and standard density 1000. So total 700 kgs per meter cube. Second objective, specific weight. Specific weight, small w, which is equal to rho g. Already we know, we discussed in previous slides. It's the product of density and gravitational constant. Density 700, gravitational constant 9.81, total value 6867 Newton per meter cube. Last one is weight of the fluid, weight, which is in newtons, capital W. So weight, we know that the relation between small w and capital W, what was that? Small w is equal to capital W by volume. Small w, specific weight, equals to weight of the fluid divided by volume of the fluid. So small w is equal to capital W by volume, 1 liter, 0.001 meter cube. And small w in previous step, it was determined as 6867. So total, from which I can calculate capital W as 6.867 newtons. So like this, with simple formula, I calculate all objectives with the proper given data. So that's all for today. Next class, we'll see some more properties of fluids. Thank you very much.